Hello, you're back with Dave and Tim at the Single Malt Review, and for our first post-COVID-19 lockdown review, we are going back into Speyside for a Glenallachie. This is a special one. It is a unique bottling for Dramfest 2020, our friendly neighbourhood whisky festival. This is quite exclusive. I'll whip that front label off and read out some details. So this comes from one barrel. It is a Rioja Tinto, a Spanish red wine cask, and it is 55.9% ABV, 9 years of age, being distilled in 2010 and bottled in October 2019. There are, bottle number 109 out of 180.
Ooh, that wasn't a big cask, was it?
No. I don't have much experience with Spanish reds, mainly just cheaper table wines. But a 100% wine cask matured whiskey is an appealing concept, especially a relatively unpeated offering.
Yeah, and to look at that colour, that is it hasn't gone the real super red like some red wine bottlings do. Like the Long Row Red very, very often comes out as genuinely pink, as do some port finishes. This one is, God, that's almost a gold going on oolong tea.
It's got a bit of it, it's a bit coppery, a bit tea-ish.
So, and we'd expect, lovely foamy head on that one. Nothing.
You occasionally see a red wine barrel finish or a second maturation, but they haven't matured the whole way in red wine. That is a nice, almost unique touch.
And down to 55.9 after only 9 years. That's a bit of a leaker, that one. So let's see what it's got for us. Probably one of the last sort of festival bottlings that made it out.
Now, only 179 other bottles in the world. So there may still be some out there, though. You can possibly get them through Whisky Galore, the store and the, in fact, hosts of the Dramfest.
There may be a few surviving bottles in there. It was one of, in fact, I think a full 3 special bottlings.
Yes,
they had.
It was a good event for unique bottlings.
Yeah, they went large on that one. Yeah. So what have we got here? Still a fabulous colour in there.
It looks quite a bit brighter, more of a white wine hue in the glass. On the nose, though, lots of fresh young spirit, but also tannins, berries, grapes.
That is
red wine
really
character.
fruity. Yeah, that is. It's
Do you
not quite
tasted much Rioja?
Rioja. Yeah.
Apologies for my Spanish pronunciation.
Everyone pronounces it probably different in different areas of Spain. Wine's a bit like that. To bring it to a varietal, that's if my wine brain remembers properly, that's Tempranillo. That's the grape variety that goes into most Rioja, but could be wrong. Please correct me if you're more current with that one than I am. But it is, it's sort of Spain's, I suppose, a flagship, or at least the most common, most indicative variety that gets bottled. It's all grown, vinted in Spain. So
I've had a couple of drams of this since the festival, but this one will be new to you. Did you even get a chance to try it on the shop?
No, I didn't get to try any. I completely bungled that opportunity. I had a look at them before the show was
there were so
on,
many amazing whiskies.
Then I kind of got lost in the whiskey labyrinth, and that was the end of me. So
the Glenallachie have done nothing but impress us since they burst onto the scene quite recently.
Well, considering the bloodline there, they're not there to muck about with their whiskey. They're there to produce good stuff. And well, I would like to say we'll see the most astounding stuff out of Glenallachie in a few more years because they'll have their own spirit coming out of there shortly. Yeah. But
this is the youngest and I'd say probably the most unique of the ones we've tried. So
it's to compare it to other. We'll assume this is European oak. We'll assume this is French oak. Numbers like that. There's very little to do with Oloroso in here. It's not as dark. It's not as. There's no sort of pruny kind of a deep flavour in here. It's quite a bit, not necessarily drier, but it's more up here. It's more lifted in the flavours coming through.
Do you assume a red wine would go into a new oak barrel?
Typically, no. Some would. You'll often, if you're buying classy Chardonnay or Pinot Noir or something, it will say aged in French oak, 20% new.
Right.
So some of it will go into fresh barrels, and then there'll be a lineage of barrels which have had more or less vintages in them, and after however many goes they're willing to give them. I mean, some might sit around in the winery for 8, 9, 10 years, depending on what they're making, and then they will finally be retired. So whether this one was taken out of the ecosystem a bit fresher, I think would probably be a good idea. You don't want to end up with a super worn-out barrel from the tail end of its winemaking life. You want a bit of oak still left in there. So this has probably been used, but not used to death. So maybe 3 or 4 years old, 3 or 4 vintages gone through this one before the whiskey hit it. So. Enough of the technicalities here. What
does it taste at full strength?
Yeah, there's a latecomer on the notes here. Fudge, Russian fudge.
Interesting.
Big time.
A bit of air, a bit of breathing has helped it.
Oh wow. Ooh.
It is hot and spicy.
Yeah,
but
it only. Boy, oh boy, that gives you a big old whack. There's about half a second there before my tongue was overwhelmed. Where I was getting the most incredible confectionery, fudgy ice cream.
It adds a handful of sweet red currants, followed by a splash of red wine, some strawberries.
Oh man, my eyes are watering.
Yeah.
I think I just haven't been... This is the first cask strength whiskey I've come in contact with since probably the start of this whole thing, so maybe I'm out of practice.
And what was it again? 55.9
Yeah,
ABV?
55.
Yeah.
It's a keen old spirit.
It is.
It's not necessarily... it doesn't taste overly young. There's no new make in here. It's just
it's got
forceful.
a punchy, slightly raw alcohol edge to it. Just a hint of that young spirit.
They make a better job of this next one. Okay, here we go. Here it comes. More Russian fudge.
Yep.
Reese's Pieces.
Interesting.
Sweet peanut buttery cups.
I would never have read the connection, but I do see where you're coming from.
Like this is just everything that's bad for you in here, and it's delicious. It needs water though. There's only so far we can go at full strength here. So I'm going to give that probably on the higher end.
For such a relatively young and extremely strong Scotch whisky, that is remarkably approachable.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, considering how small the cask
strength
was, you're getting more surface area to the oak. Considering how far it's gone down, we've lost a lot of the volatiles, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be kind of packed and ready.
Oh, that's brought out a hint of black tea, even on those. A bit of some of
black
those
tea.
sort of tannins you get on red wine.
It's way oaky now. This has, for whatever reason, really, really cracked out those oaky notes. And it's changed the fudge is gone, and the ice cream's gone. Sadly, I was really enjoying that one, but yeah, and the Reese's Pieces have remarkably diminished. But there are fruits in here now. There's juicier. It's almost. Is there sort of really ripe pear in there?
I think I get it. Yeah, I'm thinking like cooked pears.
Yeah,
stewed
a bit of
apples,
stewed
that sort of
pear.
thing.
Stewed fruit generally, but white fruit. I think it's more showing its Speyside lineage with a bit of water here. Yeah, this is way more identifiable as both Speyside and as Glenallachie, I think, with that water.
Ooh. That taste wave. There's a bit of... There's some blood orange, some candied citrus rind. Yeah. And more of those red currants.
And very oaky now. There's even to keep the tea tannin thing going. It's now a little bit. It's got a bitter side to it, along with the sweet.
It is a nice complement to that. I think it's not just all sweetness all the time. It's got some more of the spectrum of red wine characters coming through.
Weirdly enough, I mentioned oolong tea in my description of the colour, but there's actually a bit of that whole leaf black tea. Or specifically oolong, if you're familiar with it. Not many people are in the West, but it's a much more... Where it was just a bonanza of desserts at full strength, it's now quite a... It's really settled down. It's more business here. At this stage, I think I may have just overwatered mine, but not fatally so.
It's always easy to fix. You have more water, whiskey if you need.
I think that's a really good example of when we've seen this time and time again, cask strength whiskey that is dynamic and how you can enjoy it. That's a really flips it on its head with that addition of water and takes it in a completely different direction.
You effectively get to have several different whiskies in one glass, so it's like a proper flavour journey, and also a bargain. You get just more whiskey for your whiskey.
This was a really... I don't know if Whiskey Galore picked this one out, or if Glenallachie picked this one out, or if it was more of a combined effort. I'll bet they gave them a selection of casks they didn't really know what to do with. in the short term, and they picked the one that they thought was most interesting. I shall have to ask after it, but yeah, phenomenal whiskey from Glenallachie, and phenomenal whiskey just on its own. This is a really good example of a wine finish that isn't just all about.
It's not even wine finish. This is matured exclusively.
Oh, of course, yeah. A wine maturation then that isn't in any way dominated by the wine. If it wasn't on the label, I wouldn't have picked it up at all. I would have just said this is a very curious European wood.
I'd be slightly baffled if I did try this not knowing it was red wine, because it is, to me, that the flavours from the barrel have shaped this so much, but it's really gone in a different direction. Scores
for this one. This one, there's nothing wrong with this one. I mean, it's only 9 years old, so we'll rate it with that in mind. That's a 90 for me. It's just a gangbusters whiskey, that one. What do you think?
I'll be coming in quite close. 91 from me.
Hey.
It is not only a good Glenallachie, it's a very good and uniquely different whiskey too. Also, some of our wonderful commenters have been asking roughly how much do the whiskies cost that we buy. And I think this one was an absolute bargain, considering it's a cask strength whiskey and exclusive. It cost about on par with your average 12-year-old age statement whiskey from one of the leading distillers. Their standard model, 46% ABV, 12-year-old, single malt, about the same price as this one. So this is drop for drop, a real snip.
And bottled just for us, which is remarkably lucky, really, considering how far we are away from the rest of the world in general. Anyway, it's got us back in the saddle here at the Single Malt Review. Thank you for joining us once again. Now that we're back in full production, as hopefully all the distilleries out there are as well, we will keep the content running. So watch this space for more, Slange, and we will be right back.